Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Lawyer. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com, and today on Ask the Lawyer, truck accidents. They happen all the time, and unfortunately when they do, because of their size, they often have very serious consequences. Here to answer our questions about some truck accidents is someone who has lots of experience in this area, attorney Kathy McArthur of the McArthur Law Firm in Macon, Georgia. Kathy, thank you for making some time for us today. I appreciate that.
Hey, Rob, it's good to be here.
So we mentioned truck accidents happen all the time, and I just recently in your area there, you've had two of them. Both of them with wheels coming off of the trucks. One of them ended in a fatality. Can you tell us anything about those situations?
Well, Rob, I can tell you that in both instances, it resulted in situations where other vehicles were impacted terribly. In the first instance, it actually came through the windshield in that car, one fatality and 3 injuries. In the other case, there were 2 vehicles who wrecked because of the tire coming off and causing evasive action that it ultimately ended up with people going to the hospital there too. So it's just an incredibly serious thing when tractor trailers start shedding their parts on the highway.
When a tire flies off of a tractor trailer truck, Kathy, I didn't even realize that this was a common thing. Who's responsible for damages it may cause? Is it the driver? Is it the company that is sending the truck out? Is it someone who did an inspection or service on the truck? Or is it all of the above, maybe?
All of the people who have had anything to do with the truck are responsible for the condition of the truck, and they're actually covered and they're controlled by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations if it's a truck that travels between states. So the driver is definitely responsible. The company that he works for is definitely responsible. A lot of times the truck itself is owned by one company and then they lease it to another company. And sometimes the tractor is one company, then the trailer is another company, and there are wheels on both, wheels and tires. So the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations prescribe that all trucks must be inspected on a routine basis by the driver every time he puts it on the road. They have to have regular inspections and maintenance that's documented to be sure that trucks that have bad tires, bad axles, bad wheels are not on the road. So it's important in a case like this for all of those documents to be secured and an early investigation to be done to make sure that the proper actions were being done, to find out who actually owned what piece of the truck and who actually had the duty to inspect it, if not everybody, because sometimes you can get in a situation where more than 2 companies who are all responsible, and sometimes that's a good thing where the losses are huge. There may not be enough insurance coverage on just one company if it's a company that's only carrying $1 million worth of coverage on the truck. And that is becoming more and more common for trucks to be underinsured. They're not uninsured, but $1 million is not enough to cover a death or the type of damage this type of problem on the interstate causes.
What are the immediate steps you recommend if someone is injured in an accident that was caused by a truck? What do you recommend people do?
Well, as hard as it is to say this, people involved in a wreck with a tractor trailer need to get a lawyer involved immediately. Above all other types of cases, because the insurance company for the truck is going to be, in fact, they have rules and guidelines where they're going to have somebody on the scene doing the investigation for the trucking company and for the insurer in 24 hours. And they'll be out on the scene, they'll be cleaning up whatever they can clean up, they'll be losing whatever there needs to be lost, that can be lost without it being obvious, which if you know they did it and can prove they destroyed evidence, that increases the value. So it's not something that I'm suggesting is something where things that are of major importance that you would expect to be there are destroyed on a regular and routine basis. But marks on the pavement, Witnesses can be talked to and statements taken that will negate what they have to say as being important. So a lawyer needs to be on that type of case instantly, practically, because the at-fault party will have a lawyer. And this is so hard because the family's in no condition on a death or when somebody's been hurt terribly. They're just in no condition to pay any attention to having to do this. It's so unfair and unfortunate, but someone needs to take control of the situation and get a lawyer who does this type of work on the case right away.
It sounds like it's also very complicated as far as trying to follow the trail of who's responsible and all the different regulations and laws that are involved. It's not, you need to find somebody who has experience in this area, correct?
Well, yes. And, I was talking to somebody the other day who had a trucking case, and he was asking me about his case. And I asked him, have you gotten the drug and alcohol testing on the driver of the vehicle yet? He was trying to settle his case. And he said, I'm not aware if there is any. And I said, they have to be tested. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations require that they be tested for drugs and alcohol. And it must be done or it's a violation. And the company would not, they refused to give it to him. There was something there. I believe he probably got double what he would have gotten just because he called someone who did know. Right. And I told him what to ask for. But people don't always, he did the right thing, which is to call somebody who does know. Lawyers don't always call a lawyer who does know what needs to be done. So it's best if the injured party or deceased family calls somebody who knows what they're doing. It can mean insurance policies that don't get found. It can mean things that fall through a crack that if you know what you're doing, you would find. It's a big deal to have somebody who knows what they're doing on a case like this. And
to have somebody who is not afraid to go to take it to court if they have to go to litigate.
That's actually true. You need a law firm or lawyer who has a track record of success, not just settling cases, but taking them to trial and getting a verdict from a jury if the insurance companies won't be reasonable and pay the proper amount of money to be fair on a case. Because if you settle all your cases, insurance companies will pay you less. If you have taken them to trial and have proven that you will take them to trial if they won't pay a reasonable and fair sum of money, then you actually are able to settle cases for more money than other law firms. So it's important to have that kind of firm too, not a firm that settles all their cases. The track record for trials and verdicts is something people really should ask lawyers about. Okay. Kathy, thank you so much for very helpful information. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Rob. I'm happy to talk about it anytime. That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been Kathy McArthur of the McArthur Law Firm in Macon, Georgia. Please take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the button at the bottom of the screen. And if you want the best information about truck accidents or you're ready to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, please visit AskTheLawyers.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. All right.